Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 1167 and Doubleshot number 1061. Two Batman trades. First up it is Batman Detective Comics Volume 2 Arkham Knight. Written by Peter J. Tomasi, artwork by Brad Walker. Yep, it's the comic version of the Arkham Knight character from the Batman Arkham Knight video game. And despite the fact it shares the same look and has very little association with the Arkham Asylum itself, in case you're wondering, is this Arkham Knight Jason Todd like his video game? No way it is not. And thank you, Tomasi, for not making it Jason Todd, because that would have been stupid. Because here's the thing, when people basically said that the Arkham Knight was Jason Todd, Rockstar said, no, it's not Jason Todd. People's like, yeah, it's Jason Todd, given the fact how much his dialogue is, as vendetta against Batman. Yeah, it's frickin' Jason Todd. And the one way to tell between this one and that one is that the Arkham video game carried guns, this one carries a sword. Now, you might be asking, okay, first of all, we actually have basically this book collects a story from Detective Comics 1000, the Tomasi story, which introduces the Arkham Knight, and issues 1001, 1000, and the annual. Yep. Now, the obvious question is, who is the Arkham Knight? The Arkham Knight is a woman. Yep. And this woman happens to be Astra Arkham. And you will not believe who her father is. Dr. Jeremiah Arkham, the head of the Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane. Okay, at least her being the Arkham Knight makes a lot more freaking sense than Jason Todd, because she has a lot more bigger connection to Arkham Asylum than Jason Todd ever did. Because Jason Todd's his association with the Arkham Asylum is very loosely there, like loose to connect to it. She makes a heck of a lot more sense as the Arkham Knight, because she also has delusions of grandeur. Think, oh yeah, this one building happens to be my new castle. Yeah. Though the thing is, now Damien is actually in here. Yep, we have a guest star appearance here by Robin. Oh yeah, this is before Dark Knight. This is before the whole No Justice stuff. Well, it kind of is after it, but it's not really dealt upon here. Yeah. So Batman takes on the Arkham Knight, and the Arkham Knight is kind of like he kind of acts like his ally, even though he doesn't really want this character. And she's eventually taken down by Batman, and she's freed by somebody who's associated with her, who's got a sun tattoo on his back. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like the Arkham Knight, the way this version is written. It's like the Arkham Knight is the head of a freaking cult that worships her as an actual knight itself. It's an odd story, but got hand to Tomasi. And by the way, fun fact, he did write the Batman Arkham Knight comic book. Both the comic book that's a prelude to the video game and the Arkham Knight Genesis miniseries. Yeah, he wrote it. So it made perfect sense for him to introduce a in-universe version of the Arkham Knight. What about the annual? The annual is basically, well, I love the fact that Batman now, there is a brief reference in the annual to the Batman Incorporated. Yeah, it's gone. It's completely gone. Despite the fact, I like the fact Tomasi referenced that. Probably because he worked closely with Grant Morrison. That's probably the reason why he's allowed to reference it. And plus, he did, well, he was the writer who took over Batman and Robin kind of right after Grant Morrison left. So it's kind of neat fact they reference it. We also reference to the Black Case book, which is another Grant Morrison Easter egg. Yeah, that was from Batman R.I.P., one of the most weirdest Batman stories, but it was so exciting to read. Well, I actually own the trade, believe it or not. The main villain of this issue is, believe it or not, the Reaper. Yeah, the frickin' Reaper. Now you might be asking, who the heck is the Reaper? Well, he is an old character from the 80s that Tomasi brought back for Batman and Robin for an issue. Yeah. That is so cool he brought back this guy. Because here's the thing. The last time anybody saw the Reaper in comic universe was actually in Batman and Robin number 18. Well, the most recent volume. Here he is, the Reaper. His real name, Julian Casper. Yeah. He was from the story Year 2. Year 2, a storyline written by Mike W. Burr and art by Todd McFarlane, of all people. Yeah, it's a story that DC later retcon is non-canon a decade later. Well, there's kind of a good reason for it. Well, for one thing, Batman uses a gun in the story, and he works with the man who killed his parents. Yeah, I'm not really sure why DC's ever kind of... It was an interesting story, but wow. But keeping the character Reaper canon, that was interesting to say the least, despite the fact his debut story has been deemed non-canon by 0 Hour. Yeah. And unlike the last time he showed up, when the first time he appeared in this universe, he apparently got taken out by Damian before he died. And here it's like, Batman takes him on by himself, and he defeats him. Though apparently there's like 7 people who wears the costume, which I thought that was interesting. So yeah, basically Tomasi referenced a Mike W. Burr story. Well, mildly, of course. Mainly he's referencing his own stuff. And of course, there's also referencing Grant Morrison, which... I love Grant Morrison's work for Batman. I thought it was really cool. And plus, gotta love the Easter egg for Batman Inc. I kind of wish they brought that back. That was so fun to have around. Yeah. This overall is really, really good. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. If I remember, I don't think my friend Tiffy was actually very happy with the fact DC brought in the Arkham Knight, but in my opinion, if there's anybody who could write a in-universe story for the Arkham Knight, Tomasi was the best choice. Yep. And I wonder how my friend Tivia felt about this storyline. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Next up is a book that I never thought I'd get a chance to review. Dark Days, Road to Metal. This collects Dark Days, Road to Metal, The Forge, and The Casting. Yeah, it's a couple one-shots led into Dark Knight's Metal, which later that sequel follow-up is Dark Knight Death Metal. This even included some issues of books that kind of help set up the actual event itself. Easter eggs, mind you. The other books they included in here, and you'd probably be surprised that really these books are associated with metal. Okay. They threw in Final Crisis 6 through 7, the first issue of Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne, Batman Volume 2, issues 38-39, Nightwing Volume 4, issue 17, and Detective Comics number 950. Yeah. Now, in the case of The Forge and The Casting, we pretty much have in these books. Now, I love these 2 issues. I actually only need the 2 issues individually, but I really want to review this trade just so I can basically say that I read everything related to metal. Yeah. The story itself is simply this. Green Lantern is summoned to the Batcave because they text him into the Batcave. So him and Duke Thomas, aka the Signal, just walk to the Batcave. And I love all the Easter eggs because, well, all the Batman trophies he had over the years. And they go another Batcave. And he comes across a vault door. Like, what's behind this door? They open the door up. And there's somebody inside. Who is it? The Joker. No joke. It's a freaking Joker. Like, even today, basically reading this again, like, oh my gosh, wow. We also have something going on with Batman. He's looking for metal stuff. And he runs into Mr. Terrific, of all people, who has come back from Earth 2. Yeah, it was never explained of how the heck got back. Like, oh, you're back from the other Earth. Okay. When the heck did that happen? We also have Batman basically dealing with what goes on in Atlantis. Yeah. And by the way, the artwork for this issue is actually it's done by an artist who actually would work with, this is done by 4 different artists, by the way. Yeah, these 2 storylines. It's done by Jim Lee, Andy Kubert, and John Romita Jr., believe it or not. Yep. We also have pretty much the first appearance of Hawkgirl. Well, the Shire Halvard, not the Kendra Hall, not the Kendra Saunders version. Yep, we also have appearance by the Lunar Batcave, which we have Mr. Terrific back in his pre-Flashpoint attire. Yeah, they say he's back from the other Earth, aka Earth 2. But I'm thinking about this. I'm like, okay, when did he get back his jacket that he is known for having? I get the fact his mask is still his mask is still like the New 52 mask because his pre-Flash mask was in like a black mask, like dark black with basically like a T. This is basically his the mask he had during his own brief ongoing series he had. Yeah. When did he get back and when did he get back his jacket? No idea. It's quite weird. It's not actually explained. We also have guest appearance here by Mr. Miracle. And apparently inside the Batcave is, aside from the Joker, is Plastic Man. Yep, he's here. Yeah, the whole point of this, him being here, that is later explored in the Terrifics, along with Mr. Terrific himself. Yep. Yeah. And you gotta love all the Easter eggs of the Batcave. And I think it was so cool the fact that inside the Batcave with the Batcave, we had the freaking Joker of all people. Yes, the Joker, who prior to this, I think his last known appearance prior to this was actually in a book by Scott Snyder. I think his last appearance, I think it was an issue. I think it was issue 50 was his last appearance, though he had basically shaved part of his head and he got memory loss. Yeah, and it's explained why he's here. The whole purpose of the Joker being here, it sets up something that basically will be explored in the finale for Dark Knight's Metal. And we have more stuff related. And it's interesting that we see Hal Jordan interacting with Joker. I believe he has interacted with him in the past, but as for Duke Thomas, he has heard of the Joker. This is, I believe, the first time he's ever actually met him. Yeah. And, well, he does reference what happened during Endgame. Actually, it was before Endgame. When his parents were poisoned. Yeah, I think it was during Endgame when this happened. Yep, he references that, and well, his face is back on. Yeah, the whole thing with his face, this is kind of confusing. Because Snyder himself has never explained this. Like, oh, he got his face removed. That was actually by Tony S. Daniel. And then he shows up, like, implied the fact he died. This happened back in Detective Comics Volume Number 1. And then he comes back a year later, where he's alive, and he's got his face back. Got it back from police headquarters, where somebody broke him out. That was kind of weird. And then at the end of the event of Death of the Family, he lost his face, and the face ended up with Julia Dent, who, as far as now, still has the face, was Joker's daughter. Joker himself got himself a new face. Somehow it's never been explained, and he's back to normal. We also have a guest star appearance in the second issue by Doubleshot. Yep, an old Jack Kirby character. Like, oh, Doubleshot. Was this a canvas site? Was. Not anymore. And we also see appearance by Talia. Yep, Talia's here. Looking smoking hot as ever. Yep. Talia, the mother of Damian. And at one point, Bruce Wayne's lover. Well, Batman's lover anyways, yeah. And you gotta love the fact that at one point, you have Hal Jordan hopping inside the Batwing. I thought that was just so cool. Like, it makes perfect sense that Hal Jordan would be a good pilot for this damn thing, because he is an Air Force pilot. He says, I'm a decorated member of the U.S. Air Force. Your story time is over. And for some reason, Snyder thought it'd be a good idea the Joker's a weapon for Joker, where it's a freaking crowbar. I'm like, what? Why the heck would he do that for? It's so weird. Yep. A lot more crazy of him. Batman explains that this is basically there just to help set up Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah. Yeah. It is just so fun reading these issues and pretty much how setting up the events of Dark Knight's Metal. Yep. Great 2 issues themselves. Yeah, the whole thing with the other books, it's kind of like, oh, let's just show off the books that apparently Scott Snyder basically built upon stuff that Grant Morrison set up. I'm like, interesting to say the least. Yeah, because the first 3 issues are written by him. Yeah, but here's the thing. The main book itself is written by not only Scott Snyder, but also James Hen the Fourth also writes this. Yes, come on, seriously? Thank you. Yeah. All in all, great book. Give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Damn good book to read. Love reading the one shots. The other books themselves, I've already technically reviewed those already, and they're all really good. Now, I know people don't like Final Crisis, so I thought it was a pretty fun little event. I didn't have a really big problem like everyone else did, but everything else in here, really good. Yep. So yeah, that's a particular review. I have roughly one more video I'm going to do today, and that'll be a review for ReZero, okay? But do this next video. Bye.